Folks, welcome back. So, here we are at February 8th, 2023, and here's the GOES X-ray solar flux. You can see we've come back up into C range, and now we're having M-class flares, which is like our normal activity here, except for the fact that we've had quite a few M-class flares. There's one, two, three, four, five, six, seven little M-class flares since my last report. So we're the sun's coming back to life and having activity, which is good in a way because it was starting to drop below the seafloor here, but bad in other ways because it causes the grinding activity on our core. Okay, so here's our latest activity from the sun. We're in C range. We're having M class flares, so we're kind of back to normal activity, which is good. Now we're going to go over to here and we're going to check out our magnetic field lines. And you can see we've had this another big pulse here come out, and I'm going to go ahead and back this all the way up, and we'll go ahead and play the loop here. You know what? Before I play this loop, this isn't big enough for you guys yet. Stop. Let me zoom in a little harder for you folks here, because I want you to see this nice and clear. Not too much. Okay, so we're going to start the loop here. Here we are, February 8th. Okay, there's our date. And we're already halfway into the day right here, but I'm just going to start it right here. And I want you guys to watch these impulses come out the back, and then also watch the shields in front as they go down, and our polar magnetic field line comes out to protect us, and then something new happens where the IMF line comes out. So let's just start this and let it go, and I'll let you watch this little series here. It only takes a few minutes here, but you can see here we go with another pulse, and then our magnetic field reacts, stretches out. Here's the IMF lines there for a second, were protecting us. All right, stretches out, and another blob comes off, another electromagnetic pulse, and every time these CMEs or whatever solar winds come along, influence the sun, and they're causing these magnetic excursions, these upheavals. Here's another swirling one, and then watch, it'll shed it, and boom, there it goes. Then it builds up again, and here comes another wave, but it doesn't do much. And then the magnetic pole starts, or the field lines start to stretch out. There goes another magnetic upheaval. Okay. Here comes another one. You can tell when these lines start to stretch out, it's about to burp out another one. And then this one here, look at this. Wow, that's a huge one. No, that's not what's causing people to freak out about the internet. I'll explain that here a little later in the video. But first, I just wanted you guys to see this is a reaction. Our magnetic field lines are reacting because our core is doing some shimmying or doing something. I believe that the reports of it going backwards are true, because I don't want it to be true. I'm trying to find instrumentation that will prove that it's not true, but everything I'm finding is indicating that that is the case. That something is up with our core. Here you can see our southern pole field line has come way out and is protecting us. And then as we go, look at this. Now our IMF lines. See how weak the closed field line is? See how small it is? The IMF line has jumped out here now to protect us. I've never seen that before. So now, not only are we having the closed lines collapse, the polar coming out to protect in its place, now we have IMF lines. And look at this. Look at this loop of the IMF line. Okay? Some weird stuff. Look at this. I've never seen it arc and straight back. It always like disappears, or these will bend back. But look at this. All right? Here, Here our shields are really weak, and here's this IMF line totally out there, out front, protecting us. Not the polar ones. This time it's an IMF line. So this is getting weird. All right, our magnetic field is doing some weird dances. Look how this one crosses over. You see how this loops over and crosses? See that? That's indicating almost a magnetic flip. I think our magnetic field is about to flip, and that's what this is showing us. See this again? All right. Then, after this starts to after this magnetic excursion or whatever, our shields kind of come back. Okay, see they're out front, nice and strong again. See the red closed magnetic field lines are the ones protecting us. All right. So every time we shed something, our magnetic field gets recovers and gets stronger again. And then as these blasts continue to make the core grind to a halt, our magnetic field or our clotheslines drop. We shed excess energy and then they pop back up. So it looks like the Earth in a magnetic field is doing these excursion and recovery and upheaval and recovery. So that's what appears to be happening here. Okay, and we're just going to go frame by frame through this a little bit. And you see all this happening, stretching out, but here we have our sheet strong, okay? Now, as we continue, look how everything's stretching out. Boom, boom, we're doing good. And then, where is it? Here we have this big magnetic ball thing come out. And where was the big one? All right, here we go again with the IMF line jumping out in front of our fields. See this? And look at that one. It's all pointed and everything. So something weird is going on with our magnetic field, all right? Then we have another pulse come through, and then they stretch out, and then there goes another one. Okay, we're almost done here, and then we'll move on to the next thing. Just trying to get to this bigger one. Okay, here we go. You see how all these field lines are all stretched way out there? And then boom, here's our... Now this is all IMF lines in the middle surrounded by closed field lines. So this huge magnetic blob is still within our closed magnetic field. The Earth is burping out these huge or not CMEs, but like EMP magnetic upheavals. Okay? And then it separates and moves on out. And I think it does it one more time here. Yeah, there's another one. Now look at these green lines, how swirled they are. Oh man, we're not getting very good. Oops. Back here. Where were we? We were down here. And then, my bad, on the color here. I'm trying to get to this one frame right here. Look how swirled and crazy our polar field lines come out like this and then just get all haywire. That's telling me that inside the pole is swirling around. So that means the core is swirling around in there and leaving these weird magnetic swirls coming out of the polar field lines. Okay? All right, enough of that one. Now let's move on to our earthquakes and what's going on over here. Whoopsie, come on back to me. Yeah, what's going on over here in Turkey? I think it's this one. Yeah, I'll go to the satellite real quick. All right, right now, this is, just today's activity, which isn't much. It's dying down a little bit, which is good, thankfully for those people over there. But something I want to point out here is still none of these are below a 4.0. We finally had a 4.0, but nothing 3.8 or anything like that. Let's see, we can see the list over here. 4.4, 4.3, 4.4, a 4.2. Here's another 4.5. Another 4.5. Where was it? There was a 5.1 there today. Okay, so their activity is still pretty strong over here in Turkey. 4.6. There was one in here that was a 4.0, I think, or 4.1, but still nothing under 3 yet over here. And there's more going on than meets the eye over here. And we're going to go take a peek here at the Schumann because this has something to do with it. Hopefully you guys have been following like the last 3 or 4 videos I've been doing explaining how the Schumann resonance is reflecting what the core is doing, okay? Today's looks pretty mild and mellow. It's good. The one we're most worried about, I'm going to take the camera out for this part. The one we're most worried about is 8 right here at this little line right here going across, okay? We want that one there nice and steady, okay? Nice and smooth, no disruptions. If you look closely though, it got pretty weak right in here. See this? So we had a little, that's when we had those magnetic excursions that I was just showing you, okay? And you can see these pulses where it's nice and strong here, gets weak, kind of comes back, gets kind of weak, and then we have a little burst of activity and it gets strong. Whoops, sorry. Then we have a little burst of activity, it starts to get strong, and it's sporadic, very sporadic, okay? And we keep going across over here. Here we go again. This day was pretty dicey, got kind of weak there. And then we had this little screech this little screech right here at the end. A little screech on the brakes there. Apparently we are going backwards, nice and slow, but we're still kind of going. Hit and miss a little bit there and there and there. But it's still plugging along, which is good news, okay? No big screeches, which is good. But we got some more CME activity heading Earth directed here in a few days, and I expect we'll see a response in here probably the day after, within about 12 to 24 hours after it impacting Earth. It takes about a half a day to a day for it to absorb down to the core and then make the core screech and make those marks. Now, something else I found today, and I want to go over to this. This is a guy who's explaining a little bit of what's going on here. And real quick before I play this gentleman's video, this is End Times Talk. He's really good. You guys should go over there and give him some support if you haven't found him already. He does some interesting reports too. Okay, and I'm using this for educational purposes because this gem right here that he found is applying towards the HARP system, but I want you to listen to the other details in this, what this scientist says, because they apply to what we're dealing with. So here we go. Now listen closely.
I did radio tomography with 30 watts, looking for oil in the ground. I found 26 oil wells over a 9-state area, and 100% of the time was accurate, with just 30 watts of power beaming straight into solid rock. HARP uses 1 billion watts beam straight into the ionosphere for experiments. Picture these strings on the piano.
All right, listen closely. Picture these strings on the piano. Forget about HARP for a minute. Listen to this part, because this is a geologist who uses radio frequency to penetrate the ground and see what's underground. Okay, now listen to what this man says about these strings, frequencies, and the depth of the earth and stuff, okay?
Layers of the earth. Each one has its own frequency. What we used to do is beam radio waves into the ground, and it would vibrate any strings that were present in the ground. We might get a sound back like, and we'd say, that's natural gas.
Okay, these strings are layers in the ground.
We might get a sound back like, and we say that's crude oil. we were able to identify each frequency. We accomplished this with just watts of radio power. If you do this with 2 billion watts, the vibrations are so violent that the entire piano would shake. In fact, the whole house would shake. In fact, the vibrations could be so severe underground that could even cause an earthquake.
Did you just hear what he said? Okay? He's a geologist. All right, I'm going to play this one more time in its fullness. These strings are the layers in the earth. What we're looking at here, these are the frequencies running up and down the sides, right? These are the layers of the earth, okay? One more time with this guy. I want you to listen real quick.
Area, and 100% of the time was accurate with just 30 watts of power beaming straight into solid rock. HARP uses 1 billion watts beamed straight into the ionosphere for experiments. Picture these strings on the piano
as layers in the earth.
Layers of the earth. Each one has its own frequency. What we used to do is beam radio waves into the ground, and it would vibrate any strings that were present in the ground. We might get a sound back like, and we'd say, that's natural gas. We might get a sound back like, and we say that's crude oil. We were able to identify each frequency. We accomplished this with just 30 watts of radio power. If you do this with 2 billion watts, the vibrations are so violent that the entire piano would shake. In fact, the whole house would shake. In fact, the vibrations could be so severe underground that could even cause an earthquake.
Okay. You guys got that? These vibrations underground. Where are we? Okay, here we are at yesterday's report, and I was reporting on this hump, all right? This is underground. These are vibrations underground caused by radio waves penetrating the ground. These radio waves aren't necessarily coming from HARP. They're coming from our sun. They are also coming from the earth as well. This is a signature of one of these layers right here adjusting and moving and slipping. And immediately afterwards, we had the earthquake, okay? So you guys are starting to get a little picture of what's going on here. It's not necessarily HARP. It could be, I don't think it is, but it's the same effect. Those radio waves are causing the stuff inside the earth, the crust, the core, is causing this to move. The radio waves emit from the surface, they bounce off the atmosphere, and this is what we detect. This is detecting the layers in the earth down to the core. That's what this thing's been doing the whole time. That's what it's been giving you readings of, is the slippage and the grindage inside the earth bouncing off the atmosphere and creating echoes. Okay? All right, so I think you guys are starting to grasp the concept here, because that's what's needed is to understand that. So when we start seeing readings like that, we know that this is indicating something's going on with the core of the earth. Okay? I don't want it to be true. I'm trying to disprove it, and all these instruments keep proving it. So that's what I'm trying to report here for you guys the best I can. All right? So now for tonight's gem. All right? Here we go with a little something special for you guys. Most of you maybe have seen this. For my new people, here we go. We're talking about these faces in the clouds, okay? This video was about the sound in the sky. Okay, they didn't see the face in the clouds right here. You'll see it once this video starts playing. But then she plays this video when you listen to the sound, and then she's going to speed up the sound twice. And I want you to listen closely to what's going on in our sky. Wait, before I start this video, I want to point out this face in the sky here. I've seen this face a lot lately, and I've just been afraid to kind of show it to you but in this video, here's this face. It's bisymmetrical. It's got black on one side, white on the other. Here's the eyes up here. I'm just going to start playing the video. And this was in a video about the sound in the sky, so I want you to listen to the sound. Okay, this lady is highly intelligent. She recognizes what's going on here, and what she did is she sped up the sound. She sped up this video 2 times because stuff is happening in different dimensions and slow motion. So when you speed things up, you start to see the activity even clearer. So here we go. All right, folks, this is a real event, okay? And the reason why I'm bringing this to you now is because I see these events unfolding in the sky, and I think it's time that you guys understand that God is here now. All right. That was tonight's little gem there. I want you guys to, now that you see the signs all around you, look up because there's more going on that meets the eye. Come on, camera. What happened here? There we go. All right, yeah. There's more going on than meets the eye, okay? You guys need to start being more observant and looking around because this activity is happening and it's going to continue. Come on, camera. Really? It's going to continue. And I'm expecting more earthquakes and more events like this over cities around the world, okay? You guys are about to find out and get educated as to what planet you live on, who it belongs to, and who you really belong to, okay? So that's it for tonight. I love you guys. I miss you all. God bless you all. Hopefully you guys are waking up. Until my next video. Bye.